This is the Simpit video blog, and today's story comes to us from Gran Turismo, where they made a very big announcement today. GT Sport, Gran Turismo Sport. This is going to be the next version of Gran Turismo in the very successful franchise. Unlike Forza, Gran Turismo has never really been on a clear schedule as to when the next release has been. So it's always been a mystery. When would the next version of the game come out? And today at their website, they announced GT Sport. Not a lot of details about the game or sim or what's going to be included, but they did have something very clear in their message, and we'll get to that right now. Just to give you a little background, Gran Turismo, you're talking about the most successful, the most important motorsport game there is. There is no more important sim or game on earth when it comes to a bigger name and more people knowing about it and more people getting their first taste of sim racing comes through Gran Turismo than any other sim out there. And just to give you some numbers, 75 million copies. When you look at the entire history of Gran Turismo, they have sold over 75 million copies of the game, and that is mind-boggling. That's, multiple countries worth of people all having purchased this game. Anyway, Gran Turismo Sport, something a little new for them. They have a 2-minute video. I'll play some of the video here in the blog. I'll have a link to the video in the description, and you can check it out for yourself. But they announced the FIA GT Championships. FIA. Yes, you know them from real life motorsport. FIA. This is the biggest sanctioning body in motorsport. And they are now going to acknowledge 2 different series within Gran Turismo, and both of these are going to be honored with some sort of a ceremony held by the FAA congratulating the winner. So this is all built into the new sim. It's going to be on the PS4, so this is what we've all been waiting for. It's going to have evolved graphics, evolved sounds, revamped physics engine, and in their wording, and I like this wording, it's going to redefine gaming and motorsport. And those are 2 words that every year kind of merge closer and closer together. And that's something I'm going to talk about here at the end of this as well. Anyway, so this is a big deal. The 2 cups, one's going to be called the Nations Cup Series. You're going to represent your country versus other countries. The other is going to be the Manufacturers Cup. So you'll pick your favorite brand of car and you will race under that name. Either version, you're going to be able to drive or watch. That was something else they're definitely pitching. So if you read between the lines, you can kind of see some of those details that are starting to play out for what GT Sport will be. Now, that is all I have to tell you about the announcement. I mean, they played into 100 years of motorsport, things like that, and they did it in the true Gran Turismo way. But let's go one step further and talk about what's going on here. Number 1, Gran Turismo has always been numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. There was that one version prologue, and it was like a little mini version of Gran Turismo. It was like that one between years when we weren't ready to put out a full sim or game. Is this the new prologue, or is this really going to be a standalone? And honestly, I asked that. I don't know. I have no reason to put any doubt in your mind. I don't know. I just wonder, is this going to be another prologue, or is this a full-blown version of Gran Turismo? The other thing, FIA is now sanctioning Gran Turismo, and this is a trend we see in sim racing. You've got iRacing with NASCAR affiliations, Verizon IndyCar affiliations. These sanctioning bodies putting their name on sim racing, does that turn it into or make it a more legitimate motorsport? Now, I, for a long time on the show, have been arguing sim racing is a motorsport. It's just unique and different to any other form of motorsport out there. There's an old age saying that says, when was racing invented? And the answer to the question was, as soon as the second car was made. And that's just human instinct. I mean, you see it on the freeway, the guy who wants to be just a little nose ahead of you. Racing is in our DNA, it's in our nature, it's what we humans just thrive for, whether it's on foot, on horse, or in our case, in a car. Now, do we need FIA to say it's a legitimate motorsport? Or on the other hand, is it just this virtual thing on its own, just like you call horse racing is different than motorsport? And does this start to legitimize or pull it into that motorsport category? And whether you're talking about FIA with Gran Turismo, whether you're talking about NASCAR giving away big checks to the winner in iRacing, either way, those drivers are being acknowledged as true champions, racing champions. I guess the real question would be motorsport. If I want to think back to when I was a child, or at what point do you consider racing a motorsport? Okay, if I get 2 horses and we race, that's not a motorsport, that's horse racing. if I get 2 Barbie battery Jeeps, you know, those little kids things, and we race them, is that now racing? Can I crown a champion at that level? What if I get those little spinning carts, the ones that do the 360s and drift around the corners? If I get 2 of those, does that make it racing? Can I crown a champion? Can I take 2 sims or multiple sims, put them together, have a competition, crown a champion? At what point does it become a motorsport, or will it always be divided? These are the questions that I like to answer. I hope you will chime in on this topic on a variety of different levels. I want to hear your thoughts on Gran Turismo Sport. I want to hear your thoughts. Is this prologue or is this a new version? I want to hear your thoughts on, do sanctioning bodies make sim racing a legitimate motorsport? And last of all, I want to hear your thoughts. At what point the 2 people are racing in vehicles, do you call it a legitimate motorsport and award a prize? So those are all my thoughts on this very small topic that is a very big deal. The beta testing for Gran Turismo Sport will begin early 2016. So this is coming, and it's coming relatively fast, and it's going to be there for all of us to enjoy. I hope you've enjoyed this particular story on Gran Turismo Sport. This is the Simpit video blog, and I'll see you on the track.